I was first diagnosed with systemic lupus erythematosus in May of 2010, and I got a second diagnosis of discoid lupus erythematosus in 2018. And the feeling I had was confusion. It was a disease I'd never heard of before, and I feel like the manner in which I was told was less than ideal. I was basically told, this is what you have, Google it and figure it out. One of the biggest challenges I would say living with lupus has been for me is recognizing what my limits are. I was born with the how hard can it be gene, and sometimes I tend to push myself a little bit too far and I don't figure it out until it's too late. So knowing when to stop, knowing when to ask for help has been some of the biggest challenges that I've had. To me, lupus has made the reality of the fact that life is unpredictable and uncertain a lot more tangible. So it's made me appreciate the present more. I tend to live more in the present, live more in the moment, and leave tomorrow's worries for tomorrow. Worry about today and don't be anxious for what's coming later, because to be honest, you don't know what's going to happen. So I think that's one of the ways lupus has definitely shaped my outlook on things. My biggest source of strength has definitely been my support system, my family and my friends. I feel like I would not be where I am today without them. It's been such a relief to have people that I can lean on when I need to, and people who can encourage me when I am not feeling my best or when I'm at my low moments. Misconceptions about lupus. There are so many, but the one thing that I would want to emphasize on is not even things from people who don't have lupus, but from people who do have lupus. Because lupus affects everyone differently, it's difficult for you to give advice to the next person based on your experience, because everyone's experience with lupus is unique. So for me, it is more of, even when I'm talking to other people who have lupus, I'm always very careful not to impose maybe things that have worked for me or lifestyle changes that have worked for me on others, because again, the experience is unique. So I think that's one thing I would like to clarify, is everyone is different. It affects everyone in a different way, and the fact that something has worked for one person is absolutely no guarantee that it would work for the next. Managing flare-ups or difficult days. To be honest, I just rest and I give myself the grace to feel whatever it is I need to feel. There are days where I do feel emotionally depressed or down or in physical pain, and I just allow myself to feel whatever it is I need to feel in that moment, and also be bold enough to talk about what I need to people around me. If it means me needing to take a day off work, or to explain to friends why I am not, upbeat or able to do maybe things that we have pre-planned, then that's what it is. So yeah, I think I just take it in its stride and give it what it needs in that moment, whether that be space, some time to reflect, or some time to recuperate, or some time to just rest and do nothing, and give myself permission to be able to do nothing. Yeah, I think that's it. I really can't quantify the role that my family and friends and the community I have built what role they've played in my life. I really can't quantify it. It's unquantifiable. And like I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't be where I am without their support, without their encouragement, without them just being there. So thank you to everyone, my friends, my family, everyone who has been there for me over the years. To be honest, I can't think of a moment where I've been particularly proud of the way I've handled my lupus. I think now that it's been 11 years since I've lived with it, I really don't recognize my life before lupus or remember the life I had before lupus, and it's not something I think about on a daily basis. I think I've just embraced that this is my normal, and I just take every day as it comes. So there hasn't been a moment I've been particularly proud of, but the one thing I would say that I am grateful for on a daily basis is the ability to still do some of the things that I really want to do. So for example, I'm grateful that I can work, and I'm grateful that I can even engage in the few hobbies that I have. So yeah, I'm not necessarily proud of it. I'm just more grateful than anything. I say this all the time, lupus is not an uphill battle, it's a cycle. You would constantly have great highs and horrible lows, and you will get the hang of it as long as you found the right cocktail of medication and lifestyle changes that work for you. Once you get the hang of it, then things get more manageable. It doesn't necessarily get easier, but it becomes a bit more predictable, and it becomes a bit more manageable going forward. So make sure that you find a really good medical care facility or a medical care practitioner, and who can help you in your journey to finding the lifestyle changes and the medication that works for you, and take it from there. Because once you figure those aspects out, the battle is a lot easier to tackle from then on. The message I have to the world about people living with lupus is, I mentioned earlier that lupus is unique. For some people, it is an invisible illness, and which means that even though they look okay or we look okay, it doesn't mean we're okay. And for those of us for whom the disease is visible for, still treat us with grace. Don't jump into conclusions, don't jump into assumptions. We can't help you steering, but if you have questions, please don't be afraid to ask. It's better to ask than to make assumptions about somebody's situation. And keep your opinions to yourself. Thank you.